So today we're going to discuss the 10th chapter, the beginning of the 10th chapter, which we're starting today. We completed chapter 9, which is the most confidential knowledge, which we ended last time. So let's dive in and discuss this wonderful topic, which is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Narayanam Namastuttam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Evam Saraswati Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudiraye.
Tato Jayamudiraye.
Nashtaprayesu Abhadresu. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke.
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Bhagavati Bhavati Naistiki.
Reading from chapter 10, titled The Opulence of the Absolute, and the verse number today is 8. Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Aham sarvasva prabhavo.
Matta sarvam pravartate.
Matam sarvam
pravartate.
Iti matva bhajante mam.
Iti
matva bhajante mam.
Buddha bhava samanvita.
Buddha
bhava samanvitaha.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Matta sarvam pravartate.
Matta
sarvam pravartate.
Iti matva bhajante mam.
Iti
matva bhajante mam.
Buddha bhava samanvita.
Buddha bhava
samanvita.
Any Prabhuji, Mataji?
Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta prabhavo.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Matta sarvam pravartate.
Matta sarvam
pravartate.
Iti badva bhajante mam.
Iti
matva bhajante mam.
Buddha bhava samanvitaha.
Buddha
bhava samanvita.
Aham sarvasya bhavati.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Matta sarvam pravartate.
Matta sarvam pravartate.
Iti matva bhajante mam.
Iti matva bhajante mam.
Buddham sarva samanvitaha.
Buddha bhava
samanvitaha.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Aham sarvasya
prabhavo.
Mattha sarvam pravartate.
Matta sarvam pravartate.
Iti matva bhajante mam.
Iti
matva bhajante mam.
Buddha bhava samanvitaha.
Buddha bhava
samanvitaha. Word by word meaning. Aham, I.
Aham,
I.
Sarvasya, of all. Prabhavo, the source of generation.
Prabhava, the source of generation.
Matta, from me.
Mattha, from me.
Sarvam, everything.
Sarvam, everything.
Pravartate, emanates.
Pravartate,
eminence.
Iti, thus.
Iti, thus.
Matva, knowing.
Matva, knowing.
Bhajante, become devoted.
Become devoted.
Mam, unto me.
Mam, unto me.
Buddha, the learned.
Buddha, the learned.
Bhava samanvita, with great attention.
Bhava samanvita, with great attention.
Translation by His Divine Grace, C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
I am the source of all spiritual
I am the source of all
I am the source of all spiritual
and material worlds.
and material worlds.
Everything emanates from me.
everything emanates.
Everything emanates from me.
The wise who perfectly know this
The wise
The wise who perfectly know this
engage in my devotional service
engage in my devotional service
and worship me with all their hearts.
and
and worship me with all their hearts.
Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Any Prabhuji or Mataji would like to read this page?
A learned scholar who has studied the Vedas perfectly and has information from authorities like Lord Chaitanya and who knows how to apply this teaching can understand that Krishna is the origin of everything in both the material and spiritual worlds. And because he knows this perfectly, he becomes firmly fixed in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. He can never be deviated by any amount of nonsensical commentaries or by fools. All Vedic literature agrees that Krishna is the source of Brahma, Shiva, and other demigods. In the Atharva Ved, Gopal Tapani Upanishad 1.24, it is said, Yo Brahmanam Vidyadati Purvam Yo Vai Vedam Cha Gapayati Sma Krishna. It was Krishna who in the beginning instructed Brahma in Vedic knowledge and who disseminated Vedic knowledge in the past. Then again, the Narayan Upanishad once says, Atha Purushoha Vai Narayano Kamayat Praja Srayati. Then the Supreme Personality Narayan desired to create living entities. The Upanishad continues, Narayan Brahma Jayate Narayana Prajapati Prajapate Narayana Indro Jayate Narayana Astu Vasavo Jayate Narayana Ekadasa Rudra Jayante Narayana Dvadasaditya. From Narayan, Brahma is born, and Narayan, the Patrichis are also born. From Narayan, Indra is born. From Narayan, the 8 Vasus are born. From Narayan, the 11 Rudras are born. From Narayan, the 12 Aditya are born. This Narayan is an expansion of Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Anybody else would like to read this page?
It is said in the same Vedas, Brahmanyo Devaki Putraha, the son of Devaki Krishna in the Supreme Personality, Narayan Upanishad 4. Then it is said, Eko Vai Narayan Ashin no Brahma Neshano Napo Natmi Shamo Neme Dwao Aprathivi no Nakshatrani no Surya. In the beginning of the creation, there was only the Supreme Personality Narayan. There was no Brahma, no Shiva, no water, no fire, no moon, no heaven and earth, no star in the sky, no sun. Maha Upanishad 1.2, in the Maha Upanishad, it is also said that Lord Shiva was born from the forehead of the Supreme Lord. Thus the Vedas say that it is the Supreme Lord, the creator of Brahma and Shiva, who is to be worshipped. In the Moksha Dharma section of the Mahabharata, Krishna also says, Prajapatim Choradram Chapya Aham Eva Shrujami Vai Tohi Mam No Vijanito Mama Maya Bimohito. The patriarchs Shiva and others are created by me, though they do not know that they are created by me because they are diluted by my illusionary energy. In the Baraha Puran, it is also said.
Anybody else would like to read this last page of this purport?
Narayana Paro Devas Tasmad Jatah Chaturmukha Tasmad Rudro Bhavad Devaha Sa Cha Sarva Natam Tataha.
Tata.
Narayana is the supreme personality of Godhead, and from him Brahma was born, and from him Shiva was born. Lord Krishna is the source of all generations. He is called the most efficient cause of everything. He says, because everything is born of me, I am the original source of all. Everything is under me. No one is above me. There is no supreme controller other than Krishna. One who understands Krishna in such a way from a bona fide spiritual master with references from Vedic literature engages all his energy in Krishna consciousness and becomes a truly learned man. In comparison to him, all others who do not know Krishna properly are but fools. Only a fool would consider Krishna to be an ordinary man. A Krishna conscious person should not be bewildered by fools. He should avoid all unauthorized commentaries and interpretations on Bhagavad Gita and proceed in Krishna consciousness with determination and firmness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Roji. Let's all chant together. Om Agyana Timirantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namo Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Uttapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpataru Vishya Kripa Sindhuvai Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nilachal Nivasai Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Namaः. So thank you so much for joining this wonderful Sangha. This is the Saturday evening Bhakti Vriksha, where we take the top 108 verses from Bhagavad Gita comprising of 700 verses, and we go through it in a discussion forum, because Bhagavad Gita is all about frequently asked questions. Arjuna is asking a question, Krishna is responding, Krishna is trying to clear all the doubts. Bhagavad Gita is best understood in a question-answer discussion forum. It's not a one-way street. Everybody contributes. We all learn from each other. And what a verse. This verse is actually one of the top verses in Bhagavad Gita. It is the most openly quoted verse, and it is the first verse of the Chaturshloki. What I mean by Chaturshloki is there are 4 verses in Bhagavad Gita, 10.8, 9, 10, 11, which are known as Chaturshloki, because the entire essence of Bhagavad Gita is there. And some people may ask, how about Manmanam Bhakto? That is actually the essence of the essence. So what I mean by that is these 2 verses, the 8 and 9, gives you the essence of the Bhagavad Gita, in the sense that what should a devotee do in terms of understanding Krishna, 10.8 and 10.9. And then 10.11 and 12 tells us how Krishna reciprocates. And we are all going to discuss one after other these 4 verses, because these 4 verses are very, very powerful verses. And that's why this is called Chaturshloki. So whenever somebody asks you, what are the 4 Chaturshloki verses of Bhagavad Gita? You are right on 10.8. And here Krishna says, Aham Sarvascha Prabhavo. That means everything emanates from Krishna. As we discussed in the prior chapters, from Purna Purushottam Krishna, Karnadakshaya Vishnu comes. It's actually the first expansion of Krishna is Balram, and the next Chaturbhuja expansion. From then, the Karnadakshaya Vishnu emanates. And from Karnadakshaya Vishnu, from the pores, from the exhaling process, and the inhaling from the pores, the different universes emanate. And then the expansion of Karnadakshaya Vishnu is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, who goes into each and every universe and creates, rather procreates the universe in the form of trying to have a maintainer in the form of Brahmaji, and from Brahma, the Kumaras emanate, and from the forehead of Brahma, Rudra emanates, which none of all the Rudras, Sankara is the topmost Rudra. And then from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, from Karnadakshaya Vishnu to Garbhodakshaya Vishnu to Kirodakshaya Vishnu, then Vishnu then is present in part and parcel in the heart of everyone. So as you can see, from Krishna, Purna Purushottam Krishna, Balram comes, then the Narayan expansion, which Srila Prabhupada is beautifully explaining about the Karnadakshaya Vishnu, the cause from the causal ocean, Sarva Karana Karana, and from then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, who is seated in the Garbhodaka ocean, and then he is present in everybody's heart. So the question becomes, who comes first, Vishnu or Krishna? But based on the scriptures, as you can see, from the Purna Purushottam Krishna, Balram comes, and from them, the Vishnu expansions we just discussed. So Krishna is the source of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. And Krishna is exactly saying that to Arjuna, but that happened 5,000 years ago. But he's also telling to Arjuna that whatever I'm going to tell you right now, I have told millions of years ago to Manu, Ikshaku, and so many Vivaswan and so many personalities in the past. So that means Krishna is speaking Bhagavad-Gita once again to Arjuna, which he spoke millions of years ago. So Krishna is the primeval Lord, and we all should have no doubt in our mind as to who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's very much imprinted in the first line, called Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. Matta Sarvam Pravartate. So as you can see, Sarvam is actually used twice in this verse. Sarvam. So Sarvam is the whole, encapsulated, the whole, not part and parcel, the whole. Matta Sarvam Pravartate. And that means everything comes from me and everything emanates from me, and who knows me, and itimatva bhajanteva, that anybody who knows that and is become devoted to me, itimatva bhajanteva, become devoted to me. Buddha, you might have heard about Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha was actually an epitome of enlightenment. So anybody who is enlightened in his life, anybody who is knowledgeable enough to be enlightened in his life, he is called Buddha in this example. And that intelligent person in the enlightened state, then he basically comes to me. So beautiful words to ponder. So whenever we talk about, trying to get sugar, for example, you try to get sugar from a retailer, but the retailer gets it from a wholesaler, and the wholesaler gets it from a factory where the sugar is manufactured. So if you really want to get a good price, if you want to go to a retailer, you're not going to get it. Likewise, you have to go to a wholesaler to get it in probably in 50 kilograms or 100 kilograms. But if you want to get the information, get sugar, in thousands and thousands of kilograms, you have to go to the real source of everything. So Krishna here says he's the source of everything. So whenever we talk about, you eat chas, for example, and chas is very tasty, and then you ask, where does the chas come from? Or the person says, hey, the chas can come from milk. And where does milk come from? Milk comes from the cow. Where does the cow get the milk? Because he gazes and on the nice grass and gets it. How does the grass emanate? Grass emanates from the nice rains, which comes once in a while, and because of that, it becomes green. Where does rain come from? Rain comes from the sky. And how does the rain process happen? Because of the evaporation. And how does the evaporation happen? The evaporation happens because of sun. Who controls the sun? And then you get to the real thing. So whenever you have an understanding of anything, the immediate cause in this example from Chas is the cow. But when you talk about the remote cause, then the remote cause becomes this entire rain process. But even you go beyond that to the ultimate cause, then you realize that there is somebody's hand in doing all this? So there are three causes in this example. The immediate cause, if you stay with that, then it is very lopsided. Because nowadays, when you ask the kids, where does the milk come from? They won't say it came from the cow because they have never seen it. They will say the milk came from the fridge. For them, fridge is the immediate cause. And based on that, if you take to the truth, you'll never get the truth. That's the reason why we have to think about the ultimate cause in our life. And whenever we talk about the ultimate cause, this verse comes in, and then we decide. Then we decide that we will, we have to. And also, Prabhuji was mentioning about trying to give a summary of Bhagavad-Gita chapter 10. We really are going to do that, as he was mentioning in the chat window. We're going to do that because this is where all the vibhutis of Lord Krishna is explained. You know, just to think about giving an overview of chapter 10, which is becoming so powerful. And in chapter 11, the universal form of the Lord is being revealed, where the Virat Rup is coming up. So far, the confidential knowledge is given by the Lord in chapter 9. And now Lord is going to talk about his vibhutis in the form of his opulences, of, you know, of rivers, I'm so and so, of you know, mountains, I'm so and so, of the animals, I'm so and so. So all the 88 vibhutis of the Lord is going to be explained in this beautiful chapter. So unless we understand the prowess and the capabilities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we'll probably never understand who the God is, because the God is Bhagavan. The God is Balavan, Dhanavan, Rupavan, and everything. So he has the control of Bhaga, and so his all opulences emanate from him. Bhagavan means there are 6 opulences. He is full of strength. He is Balavan. He is beautiful. He is Rupavan. He is full of richness. He is wealthy. He is full of knowledge, and he is full of fame. And once you have this 5, then you do not have the audacity to have the reciprocation. And he has the reciprocation process where he becomes a renunciate. So he from that path, the 6th quality, after you have these 5 qualities of strength, fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation, he is Bhagavan. So Bhagavan, so he is the number 1 who has everything. That's why he kind of emphatically says it in this 8th verse, that he is the source of all spiritual and material energy. And when he talks about that, he's talking about the Parasakti and Aparasakti of the Lord. Maya Dakshina Prakriti. That means when you talk about Parasakti, we're talking about the spiritual world, and Aparasakti is the external and material world. So the internal energy of the Lord, or the Parasakti, and the external energy of the Lord, or the Aparasakti, all comes from the, that's why the first sentence, he is the source of all spiritual and material energy, because the Para and Aparasakti comes from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then, who the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as Srila Prabhupada goes on to explain, from Narayan, everything comes from the Karnadakshaya Vishnu, Sarvadakshaya Vishnu, Kirodakshaya Vishnu, the global, the local in the form of universal, and then to the individual soul level, it's respectively is where all the 3 Vishnus come from. And then it is very nicely explained in the 2nd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where the Sarga, or this cosmic manifestation, and Visarga, the secondary cosmic manifestation, the primary being Sarga and secondary being Visarga, is explained, where it is very clear in Srimad Bhagavatam, because whenever we have to understand knowledge, we try to get it from the right source. If you get it from the wrong source, we'll never get to the truth. That's the reason why we believe in the descending aspect of the knowledge, wherein this evam parampara praptam, that means the knowledge has come from the parampara system, and from the parampara we are essentially getting the knowledge. Think about, your sun is there, but there is a lot of cloud in the sun. When there is a lot of cloud in the sun, the visibility, as it happened today in here, and probably in any places where there is a lot of rain, the visibility is not clear. It's because the the the, the rays of sun is contaminated, or rather blocked, by the clouds, blocking it, deflecting it. And when the deflection happens, we have low visibility. Likewise, in our day-to-day life, when we are doing the knowledge acquisition process, if at all we are trying to listen to this descending sense of knowledge from multiple sources, if we are trying to take knowledge acquisition from multiple sources, it will cloud up our mind, exactly like how a sun ray is muddied up by the presence of clouds, which is internally blocking everything. See, the intent is to have a serialized form of knowledge from the parampara. That's the reason why Krishna nicely explains in Bhagavad Gita, the only way to understand me is through the parampara system. That's the reason why when you go to multiple universities, you can neither pass from one university or other. You have to basically stick to one university, get your degrees, so that you follow one method of knowledge acquisition. Exactly like that, Krishna's presence, Krishna's control, and Krishna's ability to control the entire universe in the form of, we say that if we do not have the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we cannot walk. And it has happened in many people's life. As you know, we may be having the audacity to walk today, but a time might come, we will have everything. We'll have the hands, legs, and everything. But by virtue of the presence of the soul in our heart, because we do not have the right authority from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a time might come we may not have the right strength, consciousness to walk. That's the reason why it is very important that we need to understand who is controlling this world. See, there are local controllers, there are global controllers. As at this time, there are many wars happening all around the world. There is a tremendous amount of people trying to control each other, people trying to control the ego of others, or people trying to control a territory, for example. But if we do not let us controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we'll always stay confused into where we came from. So that's the reason why of all the 8.4 million species, whether it is a tree or a aquatics or someone like a human being, Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that he has created this 8.4 million species, and he is the source of all the species, and he is present in all our hearts in a local manner as Paramatma. And once the soul who is owned by the Paramatma, Krishna himself, leaves our body, we are basically a lump of flesh. And that is exactly this verse is telling, that he is the source of everything, and everything emanates from him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, the wise who perfectly knows this. And there Krishna uses the word Buddha, that means the person who is enlightened. Buddha Bhava Samannita, that means a person who is enlightened knows who the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he engages in the devotional service of the Lord. Whenever you like someone, you would like to, suppose you like your son or daughter, you would like to end up doing something nice or pleasing to him. Likewise, if a son and daughter likes them, because tomorrow and Sunday, tomorrow the Sunday and Sunday in many places already now is the Mother's Day. There are times when you'll have kids taking care of their mother on the Mother's Day, and on that day they want to do something else for the mother which gives someone happiness. Likewise, Krishna is the Supreme Father, and Krishna is the Supreme Mother. And that is where, if a localized expansion of a temporary relationship of mother of 60, 70, 80 years can give the mother so much happiness, which we all should do, then what about the Supreme Mother who has been, because we have been born before as someone, and through our karmic reaction, we have been having this life after life after life, but we should let this, punarapi jannam, punarapi janani. That means we have come in many mothers' womb before in various different lives, but we should choose to engage ourselves in devotional service so that we do not take birth in this material world again, and we go back to the spiritual world, which Srila Prabhupada is beautifully writing, that Krishna is the controller of the spiritual and material world. We are in this material world. We are the Tatastha Sakti of the Lord. We are in a bank where, you have the water and you have the land. We are the Tatastha Sakti of the Lord. We are the marginal energy of the Lord. And as we know, there are three energies of the Lord: the internal energy of the Lord, the external energy of the Lord, and the marginal energy of the Lord. We are the marginal energy of the Lord. We are the Tatastha Sakti of the Lord. And we can be swept away by Maya, by the winds or the currents of the illusory energy of the Lord. Or we can stay focused and stay in the spiritual world. That's why we're right in the boundary, and we have an opportunity in this world to start a loving relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is nothing but bhakti. Bhakti is essentially love. Whether we are inducing love to individuals or whether we are inducing love to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are executing bhakti. And once we recognize that who the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we will have those qualities influence in our day-to-day life. Once we start loving God, you will start loving the creators of the God, the people who the God has created. So that's the reason why if you start loving God, you'll always have a feeling that whoever God has created, and we are the God siblings, wherein we are the God brothers and God sisters, because you all are related to all of us through the lineage of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is essentially present in the heart. And because of that, we'll start loving each other again, and will not fight the wars like we are doing today. And that will arouse. So once we recognize who our Supreme Personality of Godhead is and where we all have come from, Krishna is so emphatically saying, we are going to essentially start loving each other. So 8 and 9, the two Chaturslokis. Chaturshloki means they are quadruplets, like the 8, 9, 10, 11. The 8, 9 being what should devotees do, and 10, 11 verse is how Krishna reciprocates. And we talked about the intermediate, immediate cause, the remote cause, and the ultimate cause. The example being the cow, the sun, but the sun is controlled by the ultimate creator of this world, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's the reason why Brahma, who after getting created, where Brahma got created from the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and there he writes from Brahma Samhita in the 52nd verse, he writes, the sun, who is the king of all planets, full of infinite effulgence, the image of the good soul, is an eye of the world. So sun is the eye of the world. And there is, right, Yashakru esa savita sakala grahanam, Raja samasta suramurti asesa teja, Yashyagnya brahmati sambharta kala chakro, Govinda Madi Purusam Tamaham Bhajami. That means Brahmaji is clarifying here that Krishna, who is the sun, who is the king of all planets. We gave the example of how cow gets grass from the the grounds which got fed from the rain, and rain come from sun with constant evaporation and so on. The image of the good soul, and in the eyes of the world, Brahmaji is saying, I adore the primeval Lord Govinda. Govinda is someone who gives pleasure to cows and souls, in pursuance of whose order the sun performs his journey, mounting the wheel of time. That means sun is being controlled and is ordered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to perform his journey. To that Govinda, Brahmaji is saying, Govindam Adi Purusham. He is the Adi Purusha. Govindam is the Adi Purusha. So Brahmaji, like say for example, there are two people who come to the temple and you are the third person. You don't know who came to the temple first. But if you are the second person who comes to the temple at 4:30 in the morning in the ISKCON temple when the Mangalarti happens, and maybe the times are different, little different for different temples locally, but then you'll know who came first. But if you're the third person, you don't know who came first. Likewise, when this universe was created, and Brahmaji, who came from the navel of Garbhodakshay Vishnu, you might have seen that nice picture. He couldn't find anybody. And then he meditated, and in his meditation, Garbhodakshay Vishnu came and he basically found out who, and Brahmaji found out who the first person is, because and then the second person, Brahmaji, in this cosmic manifestation, he is saying, who is the Adi Purusham? Adi means the first person, Govindam Adi Purusham. And to that Adi Purusha, Govindam, he is paying obeisances, Brahma Samhita. So we can go on and on. Beautiful set of 4 verses. We'd like everyone to join the next 4 Bhakti Vrikshas, including this one, because these Chatur Shlokis are very, very important in our understanding the essence of Bhagavad-Gita. And this is this beginning of the essence of Bhagavad-Gita, these 4 verses. And this Aham Sarvascha Prabhava is often quoted by many speakers in their lecture, because that illustrates the fact that who the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Krishna is emphatically saying that Aham Sarvascha Prabhava. That means he is the source of everything. And once we recognize that, we'll not go anywhere. We'll have no confusion. And we will treat everyone, because once we know that Krishna, in this chapter, Krishna also goes on to say, Aham Bija Pradapita. That means he is the seed-giving father of all living beings. So when we are the spiritual sons and daughters of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we will never mistreat everybody, because we all are part and parcel of the Supreme, and we will always treat everybody nicely. There will be no words. That's the reason why spirituality is so important in understanding the importance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that we treat each of us with respect, not with the kind of killing what is happening right now all around the world. So once we know who the source is, once we know what the ultimate cause is, then everything will fall into place, and we will know who we should be offering and illustrating a way to start a love relationship. And Bhakti is all about starting a love relationship with the Supreme, and Krishna is the source of everything, and we all should start having a love relationship with the Supreme. So with that, I'd like to end here, open up for some questions, comments. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Him Jagannath Prabhu ki jai.
Okay. So any comments about this very powerful verse, any reflection?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, to all Vaishnavas. Prabhuji, thank you for very crisp explanation of the Chatur Shlokis. I just want to, it's the same thing what you have told, Prabhuji, which the essence of Bhagavad-Gita, since we have new devotees, the essence is here, like, who am I, who is Krishna, and what is my relation with Krishna. So basically in the next level, it boils down to basically Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana. And basically this is all we are trying to, it's a soul searching shloka, Prabhuji, where we want to know who we are and what is our relationship. There must be some constitutional, we have come here for some constitutional position, right, with our Swadharma and the spiritual dharma both. And finally the ultimate as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told the end in the 11th and 12th, how Krishna reciprocates is through the love of basically how we love him and how the love comes back to us, how he reciprocates the love. So we have to establish that relation. That is the highest form, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, very nicely put, Prabhu. Once we start recognizing who we came from, then what Prabhuji mentioned is to illustrate or rather express ourselves. And there are many ways to express, and we chanted the holy name in the beginning, which is one way to express our love for the Supreme. And like there are many such bhakti process, the Navada bhakti process, Shravanam, Kirtanam, and so on. So, and once we know who we are, see, if we are most of the time we associate ourselves with body, right? Most of the time we think we have a body and we have, 5 feet 9, 10 inches, and we look like this and this. But if you see the scriptures, we are not the body. We are mentioned in Bhagavad-Gita as we are not deha or body, we are dehi. That means we are embodied somewhere. That means if we say our body, right? Our body. When you say our body, then that means we are not the body, right? That means, say for example, I say, this is my pen or our pen. That means I'm not, this is the pen and me are different. So that's the reason why in the right context, we are dehis. We are actually, we are occupying a place which is temporary, and that permanent place where we are occupying is essentially the soul, the embodiment of the body. So as we are very temporary, it's very important for us to recognize our relationship with where we came from, which Prabhuji illustrated, that who we are, because we're not the body, and who we came from, and then start a relationship with them. That's exactly what Bhagavad-Gita is saying, is, manmana mana bhakto. That means remember me, meditate on me, surrender onto me. It's all about that. So it's a way to start a relationship. Bhakti is all about starting a relationship. And this verse is illustrating who we should start the relationship with. So Krishna is gradually, through the opulence exhibit process, because here he is going to exhibit all the vibhutis, all the opulences, all the 88 opulences will come in. And here he is going to express himself. He is going to all out aggressive, and he's going to go express himself, and we just have to recognize that. So thank you for your comment, Prabhuji. Anybody else would like to comment or reflect? This is the time when we try to learn from each other's questions. So no question in any form or shape is, we had a lot of doubts. Actually, I personally had a lot of doubts when I joined Krishna consciousness. And I'm sure Krishna consciousness is an experience. It's a journey. We all are at different, we are sadhakas. We are aspiring to go somewhere. Like if a train is going to Golok Vrindavan and we all want to get to Golok Vrindavan, it doesn't matter whether you're in the first bogie or the second bogie or the third bogie or in the last bogie. It doesn't matter. So we all are practitioners of this wonderful love for Godhead situation, bhakti. So we are not the experts. So having said that, if you have a question or comment or reflect on something, we all can learn from it. And we have been learning a lot from the questions you are posing in this forum. So please unmute and let us give an opportunity to learn more about this beautiful topic. And there was a chat question about Pradeep Prabhu, which we're going to discuss. Like after we understand the 4th Chatushlokis, hopefully in the 5th class, we can definitely discuss the summary of chapter 10, where Krishna is giving all the opulences about himself, and he is saying, I'm so and so, I'm so and so. So why he is saying so and so, we're going to dwell on it more closely. And Srila Prabhupada has said, don't read my books, study my books, exactly like how we study for our maths, physics, and chemistry. So Bhagavad-Gita is a science, and more we study closely, not read. In the association of devotees, exactly like a classroom, Krishna is the teacher, and we are trying to discuss in this tuition forum, what Krishna is saying, what did he mean? And then we're taking Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra to recognize and comment and question each. And why did Krishna say this? Why he didn't say this? Why did he say we are Deha? Why did he say Dehi? That means Krishna says, you're not the body. We're just temporary in this body with the outer covering. And 60, 70, 80 years will come. We will cease to hold a body even for a day when the soul leaves us. So this day soul leaves us, we cease to be a body. So we are not the body, we're temporarily here. Any question or comments about this verse? Aham sarvasya prabhu. Very powerful words. But any thoughts?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for the wonderful class, as always. Yeah, I see like this Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, right? This line actually, I see like Prabhupada mentioned this line almost like every purport of the Bhagavad Gita. I see like even in Bhagavatam also, I see like some of the purport. Srila Prabhupada mentioned this line. So I really like the way you explain. And also I have one question basically. So basically, Prabhuji, is it okay to name of our spiritual master? Like, let's say if you are a disciple of some guru, right? Is it okay to, like, because I was attending one of the class where Lal Govindas came to our temple, right? So he told that in Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukdev Goswami did mention anything, like entire Bhagavatam, Radha's name is not there, right? Because Sukdev Goswami, treat Radharani as his guru, okay. That's why he didn't mention the guru's name actually in Bhagavad. So I just wanted to know, like, whether like those who are disciples, right? Is it okay to take the name of the spiritual master, or we should not name the spiritual master?
Yeah, so very nice question. So the question is, should we take the name of spiritual master? See, when you are referring to your Guru Maharaj in second person, third person, fourth person, where you're basically explaining about some of the qualities of your Guru Maharaj, it is absolutely fine to take his name. But when you are in front of him, like say, for example, see, Bhakti is all about awe and reverence. Whenever we approach Srila Prabhupada, who is Prabhupada is actually not in the main altar, if you see. Our Guru is seeing the Supreme Personality of God. In all ISKCON temples, you will see Srila Prabhupada in his murti form is not in the altar. So what that means is there is an element of awe and reverence from our Acharya himself. So what that means is we have to have that element of awe and reverence. When we're talking about our great grandfather, spiritual master, we are referring to him as Srila Prabhupada, which is how we should communicate. But when we are in front of him, we should not refer to him, as you rightly said, because it's all about awe and reverence. And when that comes in, we should have an element of achar, because Vaishnava interaction is all about Vaishnava Sadachar, how we interact. And Vaishnava Sadachar is very important to maintain a good spiritual life. Whenever we talk to our superiors in the office, we go in suit, tie, and we go do whatever, to whatever degree we could be humble enough. Likewise, this is a spiritual bond, and then we should all try to maintain some form of awe and reverence. And your first comment about Srila Prabhupada using this verse very often is true. because this is the essence of Bhagavad-Gita. These 4 verses, many of our gurus will say that this Chaturslokis is the explain. In this 4 slokas, the entire Bhagavad-Gita, likewise, there are 4 Chaturslokis of Srimad Bhagavatam, where the cosmic manifestation, Canto 2 is being told. And if you understand that, then you understand the difference between absolute truth. We talked about, having the impersonal Brahman, and then you have the Paramatma, and then you have the Bhagavan, the 3 absolute truth. Once you understand this, there should be no doubt who Bhagavan is, because the impersonalists think that there is an element of void. It's exactly like how you're getting letters from your mother 20 years ago in your hostel. Through the letter, you don't really know the state of the mother. Now you have FaceTime. You can see the mother can see you, but you can't express or do any service to the mother. But when you go on vacation, you see your mother, you want to massage her feet, you want to get some medicine for her, you're basically doing service to him. That's why the letter is the impersonal aspect of any relationship. You do not understand what's going on with that person. He has sent the letter saying that I'm sending you some money, this, that, but you truly don't understand the financial situation. And it's a very impersonal way of doing things. That's why the Nirakarvadis who say that they have understood the Lord, they have understood nothing, because it is exactly like letter. With FaceTime, you can see there are wrinkles on your mother's face, but you haven't understood the challenges mother is going through in various different times and various different phases. But the real service happens when you go to your mother, you see the problems, try to solve it in whatever number of time you want to say. That is true service. So, as you can see, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu is a very personalized view of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because we are personalized. We know that Lord Krishna is in Trivangi form, Jagannath in Choka form. So there is a personal aspect. When you think about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you have somebody to meditate on. Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra Mai, Radha Shyam Sundar, Gaur Nitai. There is a personal. When you have a personal relationship with your family, then relationship becomes better. When you are impersonal, it becomes very dry. So that's why this verse is so well quoted by so many of our gurus. So I think whoever have joined new, I think we all have understood, at least to some degree, hopefully, this very powerful verse in a proper way. Any other comments? Even if it's not a question, please share your thoughts, because we all learned from your presence here. And we have some wonderful new devotees who joined, who are very senior to us and who are very conscious. Thanks, Mataji, for your comment. Any other questions? We have Padmanav Prabhu, who is here, and we have Prajapati Prabhu dialing from India, Narendra Prabhu dialing from India as well. Rohit Prabhu has joined. Traloke Prabhu is there. Pradeep Prabhu is there. Bhakti Ratnakar Prabhu. Bhakti Ratnakar Prabhu, you want to add anything more?
Only one thing, Prabhuji, as you have told, not related to this verse, but the more we discuss, it is like peeling of the onion, Prabhuji. The more we peel the onion, the better off it is, right? So similarly, the more we discuss and introspect and debate on the topic, Prabhuji, the more our ideas, and feel free to, all the Vaishnavas, feel free to express your heart, so that way we can learn something from you, your realizations, and we will also share how we, as Prabhuji told, we have gone through, we all are going through this journey, and we can share our experiences. There's nothing advanced or nothing like that. We It is because Krishna reciprocates through through the circumstances of our life, which when you become a devotee, he gives you the maturity to understand and correlate this with basically with the scriptures. What we are going through is correlation.
Right, Prabhuji. And Krishna, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you see the references he makes in various different phases, where sometimes he refers to, Arjuna as Gudakesha, Dhananjaya, and the timing of those references are so important that once you discuss it, once you churn it, we have with us, someone who has done so much of research in dentistry, that he will tell you the inner workings of how everything works. So more and more you churn this spiritual thing, the spiritual knowledge, it becomes very apparent for us, and it gives us the juice to survive the next few days. And on the aspect of questions, we have our Acharya, His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj. His class will be 25-30 minutes, but his question answer session will go for hours. And there is a lot of positivity he throws in his question and answer sessions. So more and more we discuss this, I feel good about it, and hopefully the question answers get you some personal interaction of the spiritual aspect of Krishna consciousness. Okay, if there is no other question or comment, we will end here. Any last final comments? So let's end here by paying obeisances at the lotus feet of all Vaishnavas by saying Vancha kalpataruvascha kripa sindhuvaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
Namo Namah.
Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai,
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Bhagavad Gita ki jai,
Jai.
Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari.
Hari
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 Bol.
Bol.
Jagannath
Hare
Puri
Krishna,
ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare